We're going to get started. We'd like to welcome JJ Spaun to the interview room here at the Hero World Challenge. JJ, one of 3 first-timers here at Albany this week. What's the experience been like so far for you?
Well, I think I've been here for about 8 hours. Got in really late last night. So far it's nice and warm. Beautiful skies, beautiful marina there. So I'm really excited for a fun week.
How special is it to have the opportunity to play in this event, just considering the year that you've had?
Yeah, I mean, this Tigers, the Hero Challenge has been a tournament that I've watched growing up as a kid when it was back at Sherwood in LA, where I'm from. So it's always been a dream to earn my way into this event. So I'm super honored to be here and excited to get my inaugural start.
Have you had a chance, the fall winding down, have you had a chance just to really sit back and reflect on just all that you've been able to accomplish this year?
Yeah, it's been different. I sometimes I forget what I've done this year because it's just been such a blur. And, constantly reminded, whether it's brought up by people I run into, and I have to kind of go back and remember all the things that I've done this year and accomplished. And it doesn't get old for sure, but it's just been an incredible ride, and I'm finally seeing, the hard work pay off.
Awesome. All right, we'll take questions for JJ. If you have a question, just raise your hand. We'll start back here with Todd.
JJ, how are you?
Hey, Todd.
I'm assuming you've heard rumors or the talk on tour about what looks to be imminent changes for the PGA Tour schedule and maybe streamlining the tour schedule. What's your reaction when you hear that?
Yeah, I think there's going to be some sort of shakeup. I think from a business standpoint, they're trying to figure out what is needed to be done to make this, a more successful business, but also give the game of golf what it needs for the fans as far as, a great product. And I believe in the leadership that we have now running this ship and spearheading everything, that, we're in good hands. So it'll be exciting. I don't know too much, really, just kind of the rumblings and the rumors of what I read online. And that's about it. I think maybe we'll get some more details today.
Yeah. This is not going to be, it seems like, an incremental change. It's going to be a huge change. Do you feel it's necessary?
It's hard because we've operated this way for decades, right? And you think, everyone fears change, and coming from a business standpoint, there's got to be things done to improve businesses and make products better, and that's just I think that's just what they're trying to do. It's different for sure. And, it's going to be a very competitive tour, coming up here in the next few years.
Adam?
Kind of building on that, JJ, do you relate to, right now you're 6th, 7th in the world, you're in a great spot, but, a year ago you were 180. And now there's gone from 125 down to 100 cards. How difficult is it for these guys that are on the outside looking in?
It's tough. I mean, I've been there before. A couple of times. It's not a very fun situation to be in. When you're taking, 10-15% of your playing privileges away, it makes it even harder. But if whether it was 125 cards or 100, I still had to play good, and playing well takes care of everything. But I think the biggest thing for me is, as you can see, a year ago I was middle tier player, maybe second half as far as the echelon goes, but it's such a razor thin line that anyone that was in my shoes a year ago can really accomplish what I've done this year, and that's the difficult part. Like a 115 guy this year can easily work his butt off, have the right opportunities show itself like it did for me this year, and take advantage of it. And now you're, top 10 in the world, and, no stress really, lots of freedom, lots of good opportunity. But, the old adage of play better, that means something, and that's how it's always been in this game. So I think the bottom line is just such a razor thin line from, being a journeyman, I guess you could call myself, to, a top player. And I think everyone has that opportunity.
So when you were, 180 last summer, if someone told you you'd be playing in the Hero at this point, a year later, a little over a year later, what would you have said?
I would have said, I would just love to have kept my card. Like, just give me a card, and you can have all the heroes you want. As long as I got a full card on tour, like, I was happy. And I think my mindset was a little bit of an adjustment, where, I wasn't, at the time, yes, I was trying to keep my card because I had very little time left. But once I did that, I kind of said, hey, like, why are you just trying to keep your card? Like, we need to contend. You want to be more comfortable in these final groups. You want to win. Like, you're not here to just, like, keep your job. Like, yes, that's kind of like objective one. But I think when I changed my goals and my expectations, that's when I started to really kind of take the pressure off of just keeping your card and just trying to win tournaments. And playing better golf obviously helps with that. But I think it was a little bit of a mindset adjustment.
Hey, JJ. You said you used to watch the Hero World Challenge, or what the tournament was when it was in Sherwood. Do you have any recollections of any great Tiger shot? And what did Tiger mean to you back then? And what he means to you now?
Tiger is the GOAT. He was the one that inspired my generation to take up the game. He made it fun. He made it exciting. He made it athletic. He made it powerful, both on and off the course. He had the aura. He was him. But, I remember him, battling Zach Johnson. I remember when he, won again at Sherwood for the first time in a while. I just loved, we actually went out and watched, a couple times growing up in LA to watch that tournament. And it was just so fun. Even that, going back to even the Genesis Invitational at Riviera, I used to go to that tournament all the time growing up as a kid. So a lot of what Tiger's done in the LA community inspired me to chase the dream and try to compete at the highest level. And, he still has that aura, that huge presence when he's, just on site, even if he's competing or not. And it's so good to see him, and it's good to see him doing well.
This year was a bit of a blur, but I'm sure you do remember. When was the first time you actually wanted to play the World Challenge, the Hero World Challenge? And what recollections of your first meeting ever with Tiger? Yeah,
so I've always had this tournament circled for the calendar when I knew I was going to get in. That was one of, the highlights of the year, was getting to come here and finish the year off at a really fun venue, a great event hosted by Tiger. But yeah, it's one of those things where you always look forward to doing anything involved with Tiger Woods. Honestly, you're in good form if you're rubbing shoulders with Tiger. But I remember my first time meeting Tiger in person was at Torrey Pines in 2017. It was my rookie year on tour. And, I knew a mutual friend that knew Tiger well. And I was out walking the course while he was playing the Pro-Am because I was a rookie. I didn't get in the Pro-Am. So it was cool to walk a couple holes with him, talk to him a little bit, get to know him. And he was just a great guy, and he had such a cool presence. And he had no idea who I was, but he made me feel like he knew who I was.
Back down.
JJ, have you had a chance to reflect on winning the U.S. Open?
A couple times, yeah. Like I honestly sometimes forget, what I have accomplished. So I end up moving my trophy kind of in the main room where we live in our house, so like I can see it every day and remember what I accomplished. But the whole year, the whole season has been such a blur. Like it's sometimes hard to recollect like what I've done. More detailed wise, like I couldn't tell you what I shot every day at the U.S. Open. It was weird. But it's fun to see that trophy and remind myself every day that I won the U.S. Open and, played in my first Ryder Cup. It's kind of all started from the beginning of the year at Sony, where it's just kind of a year that just snowballed and into really great things.
What did you learn from the Ryder Cup experience?
I learned that I don't think I can ever be any more nervous on a golf course than I was there, especially the first tee on Friday. But I learned camaraderie was a really fun thing that I haven't got to experience probably since college, playing like team events and stuff, and being around the guys on the team 24/7 was a lot of fun. So I miss that aspect for sure.
Give me one example that the team won't be upset that you're sharing. Come on, there's got to be something.
Bryson was trying to break dance Sunday night on the dance floor, and I don't know if you would call it breakdancing, but I'll give him an A for effort.
All right, we'll do one more with Logan.
Hey, JJ, if you could give your season a letter grade, what would it be?
A+.
Can you want to elaborate a little? I know you just talked a little bit about it, but what would that be in comparison to like last year, say, if you had to put it on the scale the year before?
I thought last year was probably like a B, just because I think, yes, the first half of my season last year was very poor, but the way I responded and finished out that season in 2024, I think is what carried me into such a great season this year. And I think if I didn't have that really good finish to the year last year, I don't know if I would have played as well as I did this year. It's kind of like a confidence thing, a snowball effect from last year to this year.
All right, JJ, thanks for the time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.